You go, all right, what are my predictions for season 2 off of the trailer? This is honestly what I see happening. For Mushoku Tensei season 2, I probably see more of the story of trying to stand or like regain composure. I guess for our main man, I feel as though a lot of, and I've stated this time and time again, but it looks like it's probably going to head into this way, which is sort of like a school anime, which is kind of what I'm fucking not hoping for shit to happen, just because it's like, I don't know, dude. Like, I feel like anyone that gets isekai'd is either like, oh, we're in high school and we just got isekai. I got isekai'd into a sword. I got isekai'd into a vending machine. I've been isekai'd into a granola bar. Like, I hope that genuinely, honestly, TLC, I would love it if we were just following around the dragon god. But I do see this as more of a story of like Rudy trying to find like that esteem back. And I know I stated this at the beginning of season 1 of Mushoku Tensei, and a lot of people are like, oh, like, how can you tell so early? Dude, straight up, a lot of people don't understand, but when like you get strong attachments and breakups or relationship dissolution happens, it can affect you physically, emotionally, sexually, so on and so forth. It has an impact on you. And a lot of people don't understand. For example, if that is your first real attachment that you've had, right, in say 30, 40 years or whatever, and the healing time, in case you guys are wondering, and in case you guys want to go ahead and look it up, my whole thesis was quite literally on relationship dissolution and self-perceived recovery time based on attachment styles and some other stuff, right? So the reason why I bring this up is because people tend to misunderstand the power of healing and the power that, like, you know, how long it would take, which is kind of fucking wild for me to go ahead and think about, because people often go ahead and throw out there and they're like, oh, you broke up with your partner, you should be healed in 2 weeks, you should have been healed like in 2 days, you should be out there trying to find somebody. That doesn't work that way, dude. Based on the longevity of like what your attachment style is, for example, it's usually like you divide by half, and like it was like 1 or 2 weeks, I believe, was the process of not even like full recovery. I'm just talking about baseline recovery. The recovery is saying, hey, you know what, I'm feeling okay. Hey, you know what, I don't feel as though like it is now like having a significant impact on my everyday life. It is more of me finding my base ground and trying to move forward, right? So that's, and yes, Raccoon, 2 weeks, that's pretty quick for people to move on. But the thing is, a lot of people have put up this weird shield, this weird wall, where all of a sudden it's like, oh yes, I've been with this person for a couple of years. We broke up, but guess what? I'm now disassociating from the incident so that I don't have to feel. I see Rudy doing something like this where they're so distraught and genuinely it starts affecting his physical, mental, emotional, sexual health, all of this stuff. And this arc, this season being the recovery arc for him, trying to find himself in the mess that happened. Because sometimes life is out of our control. Sometimes we have no issues. Sometimes it's not even us as individuals. Because you can, for example, the only actions that you can control are yourselves. You can't control other people's actions, right? So for example, Eris choosing to do whatever she did, which is probably a message. We probably took it the wrong way, especially there at the end, you know, and as I mentioned at the end of like season 1, which is like, that felt more like her trying to be like, I'll be back, I'm just trying to get better. It feels as though like our power levels are too different, whatever, right? Like I'm trying to better myself to try and be the person that can stay by your side as I get better, type of thing, you know, so that way I'm not always depending on you and you can depend on me too. That's what I would read. But most people would take that and then it's done, dude. That's a done deal. That's like one of those situations where it's like, oh shit, dude, like I've been cut after someone that like I depended on, that I needed on emotionally. That's been my, like, you know, even not like a physical like kissing, hugging partner, but just like someone that you can have to go ahead and have an interaction. Guys, in case you guys are wondering, your brain can process sometimes the hurt of a breakup or a relationship dissolution the same as physical pain. That's why some people say it literally fucking hurts when something happens. So that's what I see happening there. I also see what was it, like the dragon, no, it was like the demon lord, was that her name, the one that gave Rudy her eye? I see more of like just a storyline with that, right? Of course we're probably gonna have some fights with the man god. I probably see Rudy like, yeah, Kishirika, whatever. You guys know what I'm saying. Like I see more of a storyline with that, not even her being directly involved, but just like, if we're gonna talk about, hold on guys, hold on, we're gonna go ahead and do this just because I need to. Otherwise, people are always like, You're reading the light novel when we're not. Like, I'm sorry, dude. We only watched the anime. Hold on. Ecological theory of Boffenbrenner. Here we go. I know, dude. I know. Every single time you're like, Ed, you got to bring this up every time. Uh, Ed, you know, this is like China. That type of thing. Hold on. It's coming up. It's coming up. Here we go. Here we go. I got it. In case you guys are wondering, Ed, what do you mean by that, dude? Like, why are you saying all of these things? And this is what happens in and out of our own like dimensions, our own worlds, everything, dude. Like just take away child and put yourself in there, right? Any action that you do is having an impact going out and coming back in. And even past that, guys, everybody else's actions, right? You have your own little bubble of like your mesosphere, your exosphere, and family system dynamics. And we can go into this whole fucking like, if I really wanted to go specifics, it would take me hours to literally go into like why family dynamics are important, why interpersonal dynamics are important, what the difference between like, you know, different exosystems in the psychological theory and how it works, right? But everyone has this own little bubble, dude. And what ends up happening is, like, let's say that Brady does something, right, huge in whatever field, in like psychology or something. His bubble would somehow affect me because me and him are closely tied, right? So if I make a big wave, right, if I'm like crashing down this microsphere like of myself, guess what? Other people are gonna feel that as well, and it's gonna go ahead and like go out that, dude. Like it goes through and it impacts other areas. So for example, with Kishirika, okay, you're a demon lord, you gave someone your eye. What impacts are gonna come from this? That's not just a fucking baby thing, dude. That's a huge thing from that, right? And aside from that, it's like, for example, are there, you know, is Rudy, because this is something I see Rudy doing, right? Even unintentionally, because sometimes we do this in order to heal, is we start surrounding ourselves by people who are also hurt. In case you guys are wondering what this means, this is trauma bonding, right? Oftentimes, people bond over trauma. People find ways to, and it can turn really toxic, don't get me wrong, but people bond over trauma and people bond over experiences that are shared, right? So I see Rudy quite literally even being completely numb for a majority of the season or somewhat of the season, trying to find who he is himself, and then quite literally using others as a base point to try and fix himself, or others involving him directly in their lives, that he starts bonding with them and he starts finding a way to start healing in that regard as well. So that's huge. Do people go through disassociation and dysphoria and 101 things? Absolutely, especially rejection dysphoria is huge, right? Disassociation, huge, guys. If you guys have ever been through like a really big thing, people suffer a lot through all of this shit. Like it is absolutely impactful, and that's why I throw this out there, guys. And also, real quick, if you've been right, and I like to throw this out there, and I'm still not done with the whole thing. If you've been through a severe or honest like just hurt, right, and all of a sudden, you know, you're spending all this time with someone and you're like, wow, I'm talking to this person, I feel amazing, you know, careful, because this is where, right, pedestal work starts coming into place. This is where, like, not even parataxic distortions in general, but just all of a sudden angelization, beautification, so on and so forth of those around you starts coming in before the unrealistic expectations, you know. And even through that, that's sort of where it's like, oh, I'm starting to gain feelings for this one person, I'm starting to gain feelings for this senpai, but yeah, like One-chan only knows all of my trauma, and like I don't know anything about them really, only what they decide to share. And that's where the power dynamics get skewed, but those emotions are still there, and it can turn into a lot of pain. um Aside from that, what else do I see? Eris probably coming back, probably mentioned. She's probably going to go off and train and do something. And then more than likely, people are going to be curious about her backstory. And you're probably going to get like, oh, she's turning out to be this badass, like swords person. And, you know, wherever they're at, like, you know, or like magician or whatever she decides to be. And like, oh, like their stories are going to spread and whatnot, so on and so forth. We're probably going to find out that like, hey, there are other people that are trying to find their way home, or other people that like may actually know more about Rudy than Rudy knows about Rudy, and so on and so forth. I also kind of see him just probably solving a lot of his insecurities and a lot of his like you know, issues that may pop up, I guess. Whew, sorry guys. Any other questions about Mushoku Tensei before season 2? Like just my general thoughts and whatnot. Yeah, guys. You guys got me in a good one. In case you guys are wondering, Ed, what would you do in a situation like that? Straight up, a lot of therapy, dude. No, it's not. It just happened. It just so happened. What do you think happened with the girl with the black hair? The girl with the black hair, I think I think she's probably from Japan. T, you hurt me. No, I'm kidding. uh, honestly, I think that she's probably from Japan, dude. Like, let's be honest. Like, a majority, like, because Japan being Japan, right? A majority of like Japan, when it comes to isekai, it's like the only black-haired individuals that can exist in isekai are Japanese people. Oh, come on, guys. You guys know it to be true. Like, there's probably gonna be something like that where it turns out that, like, never let them know what's coming. 12. Hey, yo, 12. Hey, 12, holy 12 is here in the chat, guys. And, but that's why I bring it up, because a lot of people don't seem to, like, I don't know, like, fathom that? Like, or, like, I don't know. How do you think Paul will factor into the recovery of? I probably think that they won't interact until like some major news or break or whatever comes out, and also probably Rudy helping out like with I don't know, sending family back home and all of that is probably bridging a lot of like the cognitive gaps that like Paul had about his son. Because even though like it was just like a goodbye type of thing, like at the end where you might think that like people might have resolved their differences magically and everything feels great or whatever, in a realistic settings there still might be some feelings still harbored in there and some cognitive gaps or cognitive distortions that are still there. So I think him like being able to help out and send back like the other kids, I think it goes wonders. I think honestly it'll probably help out a lot. But honestly, I think that Paul, like if my prediction's correct, like this is just me throwing it out there, I think Paul's probably gonna pass away. I see Paul probably trying to do some grandiose type sacrifice, right? Because this whole thing is about redemption. This is a story about redemption, right? And like hearing all these bad things and all this stuff that happens, I probably see Paul trying to do like the ultimate sacrifice in this regard. And then like, you know, for like an exchange or something in order to feel redeemed. If he is redeemed, yes or no, that's up to you guys. For me personally, I have my own opinions about it, but I'm just saying like that's sort of oh wait, hold on, DP, hold on, DDP. There are people that are saying you're reading too far into this. The writers wouldn't have thought of this. A good writer should think like this, dude. A good writer should be thinking about what impact does this decision for my character have on not just other characters around them, but the world. Like quite literally, like what impact is this having? Is this having any impact at all? Why or why not? Where is this going for, you know? And so on and so forth. The best girl, you want me to be straight up with you? It's probably Roxy. It's probably Roxy. Because Roxy did not need like any other emotion. As far as we know, right? Hold on, Ace. As far as we know, because with Sylphie, who the fuck knows at the moment? Eris, they're working through their shit. Roxy, though, they set out on their own to try and find them, dude. They were an individual that, like, even though everything's happening, yeah, they might be hypersexualized in some way, shape, or form, or like be hypersexual in just the general fact of like, oh, you know, some of the earlier episodes or whatever. But do they have the ability to go ahead and like rationally think, hey, I gotta go ahead and do this because I care about this person? Oh shit. Magikarp, thank you so much for the gifted sub to Nick. I appreciate it, mate. I really, really do. Oh god, dude, Magikarp, I really, really appreciate it. Guys, drop a bunch of Doritos for Magikarp. Holy crap, dude. I sincerely appreciate it. Here you go, mate. Here's so whoa, that scared me, dude. That was really loud in my ear. Oh crap. But yes, honestly, Roxy's the best girl, guys. I'm not even gonna lie about it. Up to now, up to the end of season 1, Roxy is the best girl for me. Oh, thanks so much, mate. I really, really appreciate it. I'm so incredibly grateful, man. It goes a long way. It really does. So thank you so much, Magikarp. All the hearts. Here's a heart for you, mate. Here's a bunch of hearts. But yeah, up to the end of season 1. Do you think Sylphie will play a role in season 2? Yes. You want me to be straight up with you? Sylphie was probably going to be a pivotal role in season 2. Why? Because we've already seen Eris be a pivotal role in season 1. We already see Roxy being set up for future pivotal roles, especially as like grounding pivotal roles. So what does Sylphie have? What does Sylphie have? Roxanne. 12. Wow. Sylphie has probably one of the most important roles if they do decide to use her this season. No, Forgotten Childhood Friend. If they decide to use Sylphie this season, this is the most important pivotal role that they can give her. Is literally helping Rudy. If Sylphie is able to go ahead and say that we have Rudy in a depressive state, and Sylphie comes in and elevates him back into either baseline or higher, and not even by like, oh yeah, it's because she's there to be the support, but no, by genuinely caring about this person. Ace! By genuinely caring about this person as an individual and growing from there and trying able to like, you know, like helping them grow as a person and helping them evolve as an individual. Sylphie will probably turn into the best girl of season 2 if Sylphie is that point. If it's another character, then that character will probably earn that title if they are okay. But they got to be okay with like the thought of like, hey, if they were on the outside or wherever, like of losing their family, of like finding someone that's really fucking hurt if Rudy continues to be hurt, finding others like in that same regard, and allowing the room for growth and allowing the room for care in that regard. So if Sylphie is that center point in this coming season, she might earn that title. If it's Roxy fucking steals it and runs away, bro. Roxy at that point would fucking take it and run away. However, if I'm being straight up with you, I honestly see like, because we got the 3 starters, right? We have redhead, right? Green, bluehead, right? Roxy's already wifey material. Bonfire, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, Bonfire. But, you know, blue is my favorite color. I know, you have Squirtle, Charmander, and Bulbasaur, man. So you have like a good selection there. But no, straight up. I can kind of see each one pivoting off of one another, and I can actually kind of see this going into more of like a weird, like not even weird, but like more like relationship dynamics at play, or you know, say future orientation. I'm not even gonna shoot like season 2. I'm just gonna throw this shit out there. The 3 starter wife is exactly easy. I can see this as a thing of like not just like being able to grow and fix and whatever, right? But like him quite literally not knowing, like, for example, I think polygamy was quite normal in this society, as we've seen with Paul. So I can see him literally having kids, marrying someone, and then boom, meeting up with the other one, having kids, marrying them, boom, meeting up with the other one, and having kids, marrying them, and then just going off and being like a brittle old man or some shit, dude. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, I could literally see this shit happening, because it seems as though like they're setting this up as a, oh, it is what it is. And truthfully, like any other show, if there was just like, oh, it's a harem, dude, I'd kind of be like, oh, whatever, dude. But right now, like the way that this set season 1 up, it actually kind of makes sense. And I usually don't fucking say this about any show. Like, I'm usually kind of like, that's a little rough, or like, I guess. But no, it kind of makes sense, because all of them represent different epochs in this guy's life, right? So this all, when you do all this, you must wear your tinfoil hats, right? All of them represent different probably turning points in him, and where they're gonna go and why they're gonna go and what's it gonna happen. I don't fucking know, dude. I don't read the light novels. You guys already know. I'm just a psychologist. It's Red season 1. That's watched season 1 with all of you guys live here on Twitch as we did everything. It's the globalist conspiracy point, turning point triggered. Oh yeah, ooh. But guys, it takes 3 waifus to contain the man's lust. Honestly, or 4. Fuck it, dude. Who knows? 5 if that case. But honestly, I think that this show's pretty fucking good. The more trash anime that I've watched, as we've done it on YouTube, the show keeps getting closer and closer to fucking S tier. The best way I can put it. The more shitty shows that we've been watching here, the the more I can say, yo, uh, oh, this show might be turning into some fucking like good S tier material, you know? Anyway, sorry about that rant, guys. Seems like this strategy is working. I know, guys, but I don't know. I just really feel like season 2 might have a lot of surprises for me. I'm excited because I kind of missed the show already. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, I really want to go ahead. Like, I wish there was like like a skip button so we can like go forward and start watching season 2. Like, I have my own ReZero predictions. I have everything, but I guess that's for future orientation.